Harry in Tower Hamlets.
Hi there. Thank you so much for covering this story. I've spent 5 years of my young adult life. I'm 28. I live at home with my mum, and it's given me this. I'm campaigning against the system, and it's given me a ringside seat into this unfolding disaster. And the fact is, it's refreshing to hear from Russell earlier, but also Liam Spender, two lawyers who are openly out there actually saying this is a fundamentally abusive system. And you've hit it on the nail on the head earlier, that this does derive from serfdom and manoralism, and the idea that we had beasts of the field, of serfs, working the land, and then the landowner or the overlord, the freeholder, owning like their fruits of their labour. And the fact is, this is what's happening up and down England, Wales. We set up this campaign called Commonhold Now earlier this year. I was inspired by Quajo with everything he's doing on social housing. And I thought, you know what? This shows you that one person can make a difference. And I'd heard from well-placed sources in government, but outside, that we weren't going to get a bill in the King's speech, that it was not one of Rishi Sunak's priorities. And it's funny, I met Rishi Sunak over about 5 and a bit years ago in a Bethnal Green living room. And obviously, a very polite guy. This is when he was the local government minister in the sort of dying days of the Theresa May government. And, he says, what do you do? And I was working at the time for a charity on this. And, he said, leasehold is a scam. Yeah. And I've even heard you own it.
We can't substantiate that, but what I would say is that in the King's speech, and I'm quoting from it, it says the government will bring forward a bill to reform the housing market by making it cheaper and easier for leaseholders to purchase their freehold and tackle the exploitation of millions of homeowners through punitive service charges. They're the words of the King. Yes, absolutely. They're the words of the King. When you look at the
actual detail, it doesn't look like it's going to give rightful control to leaseholders like my mum, who's paying now £33,000 a year in service charge in a block where there's no swimming pool, there's no gym, there's no garden. The freeholder is one of Britain's richest men, a billionaire, often a tax haven. The fact is, we've been going up and down the country speaking to leaseholders. These videos are getting between 20 to 100,000 views each for something that is traditionally a very dry issue. And the fact is that people do feel, everyone that's in this, that is getting abused, they feel like they've given their checkbook over to someone that they're never going to meet in their life. It's not like a buy-to-let landlord. And the fact is, it all goes down to human rights, believe it or not, that the freeholders would say they bought the freeholds, that they own an asset, and you can't take it away from them because basically, it's not like Robert Mugabe stealing the land from the white farmers and giving them nothing. You can't do that in this country. But the fact is, these freeholders, according to their own lobby organisation, the Residential Freehold Association, on their own website, you can check it out, 2.5%, that's all they own in these buildings. And the leaseholders have paid a premium. And it goes back, as you said, it's even about voting. For many generations in this country, leaseholders had no right to vote. Because you're not a property owner.
That's
right.
But
the fact is, it is a form of taxation without representation.
Yeah. Your franchise was literally connected to whether or not you owned land in this country. And I remember, some of you know already, I did a law degree. And, when you sit down and you learn your property law 1 and 2, which is sort of part qualification to become a lawyer, the thing that our lecturers would start off with, every term is property law. 9/10 of the law. And of course it is 9/10 of the law because, very often the law in this country is written, everywhere actually, was written by rich, powerful people who are trying to maintain their own interests. Anyway, that's it from me. Thank you for all of your calls, texts and tweets today. I'll be back with you tomorrow.